everyone, this is Leah again over at EurekaCrystalBeads.com, and I'm here with another great earring tutorial for you for Valentine's Day. So what we have here is an earring that features Swarovski crystal components and sterling silver findings, and the specific Swarovski crystal component we have here is the Truly in Love heart pendant, so very appropriate for Valentine's Day. So what I'm going to start by doing is going over the components that we're going to use in this earring. So everything you see here, this is just for the one half of the earring that I'm going to be creating in the video. The first thing I'm going to do is show you how to make our little dangles here. And I have here a 4mm Swarovski crystal bicone, and the color that it's in is Crystal AB, but you can certainly use whatever color you want. So I'm going to start by sliding my crystal onto my head pin. And now I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and as a reminder, chain nose pliers are the kind that are flat inside and they're smooth, and when you close them they're also tapered to a point. And I'm going to grab the wire right above my crystal, and once I know that I have it nice and tight against the crystal, I'm actually going to just bring my pliers up a little bit, just enough to give a little bit of wiggle room. This is going to help ensure that when I go to make my bend, like I just did here, that I'm not going to crack the crystal because I was so tightly against it. So that little bit of wiggle room is important. So now I'm going to trim off some of this wire because I really don't need that entire length that's there. So I'm going to use my side cutter here, and I'm going to trim off about half of what's there. Now if you're using a longer head pin, you'll obviously have to trim off a little bit more. If that's the case, make sure you concentrate on what you're leaving behind, not so much what you're cutting off, because what you're leaving behind is what you're actually going to have to be using. So I'm just going to trim my wire here. And now I'm going to use my round nose pliers, and you'll know that they're round nose pliers because they sort of resemble two ice cream cones. There's no flat edges there. And I'm going to grab about 1/3 of the way into the pliers, and you're going to grab the very tip of that wire. And I'm just going to start to roll a little loop. You'll notice I relax my wrist back to re-roll. And when it's completed, you want a little loop, because that's going to help attach to the earring so our dangles will dangle, essentially. So that was the last one of the 5 that I'll need total for this side of the earring. And now's the easy part. That was the hard part here. Now's the easy part, as long as I can manage not to drop my components here. So we talked about pinch bails in our last video, and we're going to be using them again today. In that case, in that other video, we used it for a pendant, but this will actually be a beautiful element in our earrings. So you can see there's 2 little prongs, one on the front and the back, and each prong will go into a hole of the pendant. Pinch bails, or at least this particular pinch bail, is meant to be used for a front to back pendant, and you just pinch it shut with your fingers like you just saw me do. Because of how thick this crystal is, I am going to take my my chain nose pliers, and I am going to just pinch it a little bit tighter. These will just be able to get it a little bit tighter than my fingers will. So at this point, this alone could be a lovely pendant, but I do need to attach it to my ear wire for the earring. So right now, if I were to attach this, my heart is actually going to sit sideways. We are going to need a little jump ring to help it to face the right way, to help it face forward. So I have a little sterling silver jump ring here, and I'm going to grab a pair of chain nose pliers in each hand. Chain nose pliers are the type of pliers where it's always really helpful to own 2 of them. And we're going to grab right on either side of that opening. Again, you may remember from our last video, you want to swivel jump rings open. You never want to open them like this. You always want to swivel. And I'm just going to slide my little heart pendant right onto that jump ring, as well as my ear wire. Now, this particular crystal does have a finish, so it's up to you which side you want to face forward. So this particular side has the actual finish on it, so it's a bit more pink, and from the back it's a little bit more subtle. It's up to you which one you want to face forward. I'm going to have the one with the finish face forward, so that'll determine how I place my ear wire on there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and shut that jump ring, and you're going to want to just rock it back and forth, make sure everything meets. So we could be done here if you wanted a simpler earring, but we're going to go ahead and do just a little bit more. So we're going to go back to those little dangles that were made earlier. And just like we open up a jump ring by swiveling, we're going to open up all of these little loops. So as far as where my dangles are going to go, the way I designed this particular earring is I'm going to have one dangle coming off of, I can point a little better with my pliers here, one dangle coming off of the very front of the ear wire, and then two coming off of each side. So you can just go ahead and slide them on. It's up to you where you want to start. Just can't keep a hold of this guy. So I'm going to start with just the one that's hanging off the ear wire. So I'm just going to slide that little open loop on there. I'll use my chain nose pliers just to grab that little wire and just to swivel it shut. Just like that. You're really going to want to make sure that you take care to close those loops really, really well, because if they are at all open, oops, I'm getting a little caught up in here, because if they are at all open, it means that those dangles could come off when you're wearing the earring, and that wouldn't be very fun. So now I'm going to do the two that are on each side. Oops. Sometimes it gets a little cumbersome. There's a lot hanging off here and dangling all around. Now I'll grab the next one that'll sit right next to it. Shut that one. Alright, so now we have the top center and we have the two on the side here. So now we're going to get the other two. And then this one to sit right next to it. And we're almost done. We're at the home stretch here. So that is it. Those create the beautiful dangles that sort of cluster at the top of our heart. And we have a lovely pair of finished Swarovski crystal earrings in sterling silver. So if you'd like to check out these components, perhaps try to make these yourself, we're going to link you to all of these specific products that are on our website, eurekacrystalbeads.com. And stay tuned and check back for more great tutorial videos in the future. I do think that was the best one, so I'm glad we did a lot of practice. Thank you. Wow, wow.